En grytin norsmun som antyder hustade må se familana classified historios Mäßiglenes Kiesen, Schwane.
Could it be this one? Could it be this one? Or maybe it could be this one as well. Okay. Yeah, I just like muted the mic for 8 minutes. Hi, Orion. Who was first? Yeah. Hi, Seville. How are you guys doing? How... Hideki Hinata. Hi, hello, welcome. First time in chat. How are you doing? And the cat is here. And the cat is here. She was just waiting for the moment I would sit down and start streaming so she could come and start bothering me. How are you? I'm doing okay. My voice is still crap, but hey, after 3 months, huh? We're getting used to it. I don't have my glasses. Having evening tea, that's nice. I had morning tea earlier. I've been sick the entire night. Is it another food poisoning or not? Clean my glasses. Of course Lady comes. It's not a stream without Lady. Apparently so. Look at her. Food poisoning again? Damn. If I ever go to Paris, I am not like ordering takeout or something. Ever. In fact, I won't even go into a restaurant at this point. I won't trust Parisian food establishments. Hi, Percy! My internet has been killing itself since last night. Oh. Oh, that's not good. I need the internet. Well, the 11th, which means tomorrow, the Sinus Skincare free card is available. The audio is a bit loud, I'm sorry. Is this better? Also, I have, if you are in the Discord server, you know about this, but if you're not, I have, oh my god, my cat. I have touched at the settings of the stream, like audio, video, etc., etc. So the audio now should be crystal clear and not crackling. You tell me if you ever hear the stream crackle. It's like, oh, you got your husband. I'm gonna make sure the game crashes so you can pull his weapon or build him. Oh, that's so frustrating. You mean Brent, right? In Wuthering Waves. Still a bit too loud. Okay, so the thing is, I did put the audio to the maximum, which is 320. But it's the way for the stream to not crackle anymore. So it's the music that's loud, right? Like all the audio input should be at 320, which is the maximum. Because the thing is that previously it was at 180. And at 180, it was causing the stream to crackle because basically the sound was capped. So when you get capped sound, it crackles or like grizzles kind of thing. That was the reason why the noise was like that. So the trick is to put it to the maximum. I didn't know that. I didn't know that by default OBS puts it at the minimum, or like the Twitch, like basically there's a thing that Twitch controls some of your control in OBS, so I turned that off and I resets like everything and I put it to 320, which is the max. So now it shouldn't be like saturating. The music is like really low though. Like I really put it to the like almost minimum, but I will give you that Weightless Paradise is pretty loud. Yeah, I got him as well, but I was like really high pity and guarantee. Also, the food poisoning is my fault. I didn't check the expiration date on my sandwich and got oh no. Oh no. Depending on what the sandwich is like filled with, it's okay. But depending on what's inside, if it's expired, you better throw it away. So program for today. I feel my throat is gonna kill me. Program for today is that we are going to start by watching Genshin put out some new trailers. We're gonna watch these because it's about the Moon Sisters. So I have to like rewatch that because I saw it on Instagram. I have to rewatch this carefully. And then thanks for the follow, Brookies, and welcome. And then I have a theory about Love and Deepspace, which I think is pretty solid. I think. I've had this like in the back of my mind for a while, but I noticed something when I was doing an edit for Silas that I didn't see before, and I was like, wait. So it was like kind of feeding the theory. So I will expose that. I already exposed it in the Discord though. And then we will carry on with chapter 5 and 6 of the main story of Love and Deepspace. For the people that cannot play, for various reasons, and also because lore-wise, it's very interesting to go back and retrace your steps now that we have way more insights in the game. So let's start with watching that trailer. Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact. I put Genshin Impact and Genshin is not even the first channel to come out. Not even the first video. Genshin. There you are. They only put it as shorts. Damn. Is it Shenhe's birthday? Apparently so. They only put it in shorts, and apparently there's something. It's about the web event, right? Like it's hidden in the web event. And for the people who play ZZZ, I frequently publish things in the Discord, so you won't miss any info if you join. That's true. We have channels for Genshin, Honkai. We have a general gaming channel. We have a channel for Love and Deepspace. We have a channel for Reverse. We have a channel for ZZZ. And we have a channel for Cookie Kingdom as well. I try to keep the Discord pretty clear so it doesn't overwhelm people, but at least I put the games that the people in the Discord play the most. So yeah. Let me see if I can activate this screen here. Opera. Yeah, that should be working, right? Open this board treasure pass 10 times. Well, the thing is, we're not playing Genshin nor Star Rail, so I cannot open chests. Tricky, tricky. Alright. My favorite song is done. So let's rewatch this. The Trinity of Moon Goddesses, who once steered the primordial celestial sphere and wove love and passion into the very heart of the world, have long since faded into the shadows of time. Yet, those who follow the tides still sing and pray, for a new moon is set to rise. That is interesting. Now, more context. When the eternal moon fell, when the eternal moon fell, the heavens and earth were thrown into chaos. When the iridescent moon shattered, the crimson shadow sank into the abyssal sea. When the frost moon ceased to turn, nations faltered and fell into ruin. The world, no longer sheltered by eternity, marches toward its final breath, yet from the ashes the new moon rises, its ascent spinning the wheel of fate anew. And that is very interesting. So the eternal moon fell. The heavens and earth were thrown into chaos. That should correspond to the destruction of the Seelie race, which means it's at the time where the second who came, sometimes after the second who came arrived into Teyvat and fought the primordial one. And at the same time, we had Nibelung that came back for the War of Vengeance against the Heavenly Principle and brought forbidden knowledge into Teyvat. This should be what this is. The eternal moon fell, which is interesting. And why am I so sure that it's the heaven and earth? Because it is said, like in the Moon Sister lore, that when the second who came fought the primordial one, and that Nibelung came back for the War of Vengeance, and that the Outlander married the Seelie, and that the Seelie race was destroyed within 30 days, it says that the heaven and earth were like something like thrown into chaos, and something about asunder, basically like, destroying everything, the heaven and earth. When the iridescent moon shattered, the crimson shadow sank into the abyssal sea. Now, we have a moon that is shattered, which is in Natlan, beyond the fake sky, and the crimson shadow sank into the abyssal sea. That is the crimson moon that is in Canria. Which means this should be the third descender. Probably. When the frost moon ceased to turn, and we see like the shadow of the crimson moon here. nations faltered and fell into ruin. This corresponds to the cataclysm. Because we have the reflection here, and we have like the crimson shadow of the moon that is fading away just as we talk about this. And we know that we had the shift between the Crimson Moon Dynasty and then the Eclipse Dynasty at this time. During the Archon War, and then followed shortly by the Cataclysm. And it faded completely. The world no longer sheltered by eternity marches towards its final breath, yet from the ashes the new moon rises, its ascent spinning the wheel of fate anew. What is interesting is that with the frost moon that's ceased to spin, and it corresponds to the cataclysm, it also means that it corresponds to the time where the Tsaritsa changed. Because Venti says that he knew the Tsaritsa before the cataclysm, and that after the cataclysm, she changed. She was not the same anymore, and that everybody has said that the Tsaritsa now just, who is supposed to be the Archon of Love, doesn't have any love left. And what is interesting is that we have now a fourth moon, which we couldn't see because, well, it's the black moon. The new moon is black. And it's about to rise. Shit, I put some shit on my desk mat. Which would correspond to the fourth descender. Traveler. Yes, and interestingly, I've always had this theory that Paimon is a moon sister, and her hair clip is black. Hi, Gabi, how are you doing? Does that mean we'll get more Arlequin lore if we have the Crimson Moon? Maybe. The Circuit of Logos artifact says that the eternity they mention is a cyclic type. Whatever happened broke the cycle of Tevat. Yes. And I think that... Thanks for the follow, Takun, and hello. I think, like, Isteros has something to do with that. Somehow. So there should be one more moon for the fourth descender, so the rise of the new moon, and I think it's Paimon. Yes. I think that every moon is associated with a descender. So we have the eternal moon that fell would be the primordial one, because we remember that during the battle between the second who came and the primordial one was so weakened by the fight and everything that was happening that he used the help of the four shades. And the book in Enkanomiya assumes that the primordial one won, but it's an assumption. And remember that Enkanomiya is cut off from the world. This is just an assumption. And I think that the primordial one actually fell, and it's a second who came who won the war. And it correlates with the fact that we can see a clear change in how Celestia behaves, because the primordial one is supposed to be the loving god, which I explained like many times before. Basically, the primordial one is supposed to be the good god, the all-loving and all-forgiving god, and the second who came is supposed to be the demiurge, the false god, the one that think of himself as the true god, and who actually made the archons. If you see where I'm going with this, and was basically the punishing god. So the god of the Old Testament that was very like punishing if you like did something wrong. He would ask you to kill your brother, for example, right? And in Genshin, he would send down the Celestial Nails. So we are back to this. So I do think that the second Hokame one and the Primordial one fell, which corresponds with one of the Moon Sisters that fell. Also, considering that the Moon Sisters are, in my opinion, Sealies, the fall of the Sealy race, and, you know, it kind of like works. Iridescent Moon. Also, Eternal Moon works with the Primordial one because it's supposed like to be the Eternal Paradise. The Iridescent Moon would be the one that is associated with, I think, the second Hokame or the third Descender. What did I say? I had a very clear logic about this. Let me go back. Blah, blah, blah. The iridescent moon became the crimson moon. The eternal moon was the one to eradicate the Sealies. So sometimes after the second Hokame, during the War of Vengeance. So eternal moon should echo the primordial one. The iridescent moon should echo the second Hokame. And the crimson shadow itself should be the third Descender. Because from the iridescent moon, the shadow became the crimson shadow and fell into the abyss. And Skirk says that the noses, which are made with the remains of the third Descender, are cursed. I think it works well with the crimson moon and the abyss. It would explain like the cursed thing, right? And the frost moon. What did I say? I was like mixing my things here. Frost moon, the fourth Descender. So that should be the one that is still in the sky. I fumbled here. So we have 4 moons in total and 4 Descenders. That we have. Primordial one, eternal moon. Or second Hokame. Iridescent moon, second Hokame in my opinion. Because of the crimson shadow. So the frost moon should be either the third Descender or the second. I do think that the iridescent moon shattered and fell into the abyss with the crimson shadow should be the third Descender, because they split the remains of the third Descender into the Gnosis, and it's cursed, like the abyss. So the frost moon could be the one that's left, which would be the second Hokame. And the new moon is rising from the ashes and ascending. So it should be with Traveler, because we are currently ascending. It's like the purpose of our journey at the end is that we are on our way to ascension, and with us we have Paimon, and her hair clip is black, and the new moon is black. So that's how it should be. I think that's how it should be. 4 moons, 4 Descenders. And each time they like go together. kind of like hand in hand, especially when we know that the Outlander married the Seelie and fought the Primordial One, and the Seelie race was destroyed, and Nibelung was coming back, and it was forbidden knowledge at that point. I think I'm onto something. Has to be. It has to be. Now, I don't know what you guys think. I'm great, how about you? I'm okay, I'm still sick. I've been for 3 months. But we do what we do. So the fact that the Crimson Moon is definitely like associated with curse would work in favor of Arlecchino lore, would work in favor of the third descender being dead and using his remains, etc., etc. I have a question. Do you think this has any relation to the moon we can see in the plane of Euthymia, or is it just a coincidence? I think that the moon we see in the plane of Euthymia is just one of the moons, but not the Crimson Moon, for a reason. Or maybe it could be the Crimson Moon, but it's not the actual moon. The thing we see, the moon we see in the plane of Euthymia, remember that the plane of Euthymia was created by A herself. This is the place where she resides, where her mind resides, because A doesn't have a body anymore. She is just occupying the puppet. Her consciousness is stored in the sword that was imbued with the blood of her sister, Makoto, right? But basically see the plane of Euthymia as a mindscape, or dreamscape, or however you want to call it, but not reality. The fact that she represents a crimson moon in her plane of Euthymia, if you look at it, it's like full of sands and like ashes and destroyed stuff. I think it's because when she made the plane of Euthymia, she made it from the trauma. She made that right after her sister died in her arms. So I think it's supposed to like represent the last vision she had in her own body of finding Makoto on the battlefield dead, with the sky being tinted in red, which would then make a crimson moon appear because the sky is just like red from the abyss and everything, the fire and all. That's the last thing she saw when she saw Makoto for the last time, and before like abandoning her body and creating the plane of Euthymia. I think this was like kind of a reminder for herself in her quest to like the promised eternity that she promised to her people, etc., etc. It's not the actual crimson moon that fell into the abyss. I think. The one that shattered could very well be the one in Natlan. We have fragments on land, and we have the fragments in the sky, and the major problem of Natlan was the abyss. So Natlan is a doorway to the abyss. So it's entirely possible. I was sick too last week. I couldn't get out of bed on Monday. Yeah, winter is hard, so I've been like hit. The reason I've been sick for 3 months straight is because I caught a strep throat early December, but at the same time, and I didn't know that, at the same time, I caught mononucleosis. Great. So I was like really bad. And the thing is that the treatment for strep throat, the antibiotics, make the mononucleosis worse. So I've been sick for 3 months. And it keeps like flaring up. And now we have allergies. So yeah, this is just great. I don't even know if I'm sick because of the lingering mononucleosis or because of pollen. I'm not smart enough to come up with theories about this, but I'm still listening and I don't play Genshin anymore. This is like a major drop, and apparently it also coincides with the moon calendar. So the next live stream might give us more thing because it falls on a solar eclipse or lunar eclipse. It falls on a day on an eclipse, and we have the eclipse dynasty. So we are finally getting food. Lore-wise, I mean. Allergy season is yeah. It's just like terrible. Hang on, my headset shut off because there was no sound. We are being fed now after being disappointed. Hi Viper, how are you doing? Alright, that's all I have for Genshin right now. Because, I mean, they didn't give us like a lot, right? But we take it. It's finally some food. So my theory that Paimon is one of the Moon Sisters still stands. And I would say it would work pretty well, actually. So I'm kind of excited to see about what's gonna happen in Not Cry. I was like so not hyped about Snezhnaya and unhyped about Not Cry. I was like, yeah, okay. Like I was so disappointed by Natlin and the wasted potential of Natlin that I'm like, I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I'm not gonna get hyped about anything until I get some actual stuff. Now we're getting some stuff, and I'm not exactly hyped because they got us hyped for Natlin, and then I was very disappointed. So I'm not getting my hopes up, but I'm like, I'm gonna take the crumbs, and I hope they're gonna make something good out of it because Natlin has so much potential, and there are still like 4-5 patches left before 6.0, something like that. And I do hope they're gonna use them to use the unused lore potential of Natlin and make something, because if they just stop at that, it's highly disappointing. When Not Cry Snezhnaya starts, if you hear someone screaming, it's me. Do we anticipate an area update next patch? I don't know. I mean, isn't it a bit early to have Not Cry because it's supposed to be like a Snezhnayan region, so this should not be... We shouldn't be getting Not Cry. Unless... When is Windbloom? Unless we get a map expansion for Windbloom and we get like Northern Mondstadt, that would then lead to Not Cry. It should be a Natlin... should be a Natlin update because we got Yansan and Verisa, right? And then we have left Aoife as well from Natlin. The other ones don't look from Natlin, but who knows, we might be surprised. Domain expansion. Alright, now it's time for my theory about MC from Love in Deep Space. I need Silas's trailer. The actual one. Silas trailer. The actual trailer. Is it this one? It's this one. I need it at the end. Around here. Wait, what was written here? To the Supreme Interstellar Exile Starship Tartarus. See, it's the ship that is called Tartarus. Here.
The night's just getting started. Don't let me catch you so easily next time.
I need a full map, please. The full star map. Here. It's a little bit blurry like that. Is it in 4K? It's in 4K, but it's just here. Can I put that in full screen? I can. All right. Dev, we have Wars in Natlan. Many things, actually, you'll see. Actual Natlan. Tacos grilled. The DJs Fast and Furious. It was fun for a moment, but then you left... We were kind of left hungry, lore-wise. I'm not saying that there's absolutely no lore, but it's kind of empty. Not gonna lie. It's still very empty for the Nation of Dragons. Okay, so my theory about MC is that we have this star map at the end of Silas's trailer, right? And I was a bad Silas main because I didn't watch that trailer. The star map looks like the one of the Genshin web events, Silas and Genshin Stress. No, but there is potentially some connection, and stay with me. Not as in that we're going to get a crossover, no, but there's a pattern. There's a pattern. We have the star map. This is our solar system. This is our solar system. The Cenozoic era is our current era. So it's the era from when the dinosaurs went extinct to our current era. And for Love and Deepspace, the current era is Lincoln in 2034? Or was the chrono catastrophe in 2034? Anyway, it's a little bit like the near future for us. So, this is the target. Cenozoic era, it's our era. So this should be Earth, right? And we know that Philos is supposed to be Earth, right? This should be Earth. But if this is our solar system, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are only 8 planets. So, I see like a ring here close to the sun. 2 options. Either this was made and they considered that they would be ditching Pluto. Or there is Mercury hidden behind the sun here. There is a ring, so it's a possibility, but I don't see it, you know? So let's go first with the fact that we only have 8 planets here in the solar system and that they ditched Pluto. Earth is the 3rd planet in the solar system starting from the sun. So if this was Earth, it should be this one. 1, 2, 3. Earth should be this one. But it's not. It's this one. Which means it's the second planet here in this solar system. And what is the second planet? It's Venus. Now hold on to your socks because this will be a ride. This will be a ride. So I'm completely clueless about Love and Deepspace lore, so I'm gonna let y'all cook, but I'll try to see if there's any references I know. So, based on the principle that this solar system is ours and they ditched Pluto, Philos is not Earth, but here it should be Venus, because Venus is the second planet in the order of the solar system. I need to have a look here because I put everything in the channel. Let me find my cooking pot. So, my theory is that we were given the answer about MC, and it correlates in the game. So this is our solar system, 8 planets. There may be one hidden, or they ditch Pluto. Philos should be Earth, so it should be the 3rd planet on the map. Cenozoic era is our current era from the disappearance of dinosaurs until today. Except the one Silas set his course on is the 2nd planet, as shown here. The 2nd planet of the solar system is Venus. And we're back in the building again, just like Hoyoverse, where the MC is the human incarnation of Venus. And we have so many hints about this. Venus is also Aphrodite, the goddess of love. MC said in the past that her home is beyond the sky and that she was a star. Venus being considered as the shepherd star, the morning star, and the evening star. Venus, especially during winter, is visible being next to the moon, and Xavier is themed around the moon, and he comes from the actual Philos, so he refers to himself as a star because he comes from beyond the sky, and he has the light evil. The love interests have sneakily called MC Goddess in game. At a few occasions, like very sneaky. It's like in some interactive dialogue in the events. Like if you remember the mini game with the blobroos, like you had like this board game with the little blobs. They call MC Goddess in that, especially Zane, and it happens in those type of events with like tiny little like dialogue lines where they call MC a goddess. She knows that the answer is in the deep space tunnel, and she feels deep down that she's from somewhere else than Lincoln or Earth or Philos. At least its surface. And we know that the N109 zone is also the closest to the entrance of the tunnel. And this is also where she felt the pull. That is, of course, if the 9th planet isn't hidden on the map, because I see the ring, like I said, where should be Mercury, except I don't see Mercury. So this holds ground somewhat if Mercury isn't hidden behind the sun. Or if Mercury is hidden behind the sun, that would mean that she does come from Venus, which was the ancient Philos before they moved to Earth, and she fell on Earth through the deep space tunnel, which would make Xavier a literal star people. Kinda. This is more convoluted, but it could work. Plus, we can also now safely assume that MC wasn't born, but created. And if you want proof, I'm gonna switch the window, try to stream Discord. Let me see if I can stream a window. Let me see. Properties. Discord. Here. Xavier calls MC a star too. Yes, right. And yes, she was created and not born. We are now pretty sure of that. And it fits because Aphrodite/Venus was also the goddess of prosperity, fertility, etc. And MC was the one maintaining the planet and the city of sand in Raphael's myth alive by just existing. Her just existing in Xavier's myth and Raphael's myth is what makes the planet alive and the city alive. And she, Aphrodite, was worshipped as a warrior goddess in some parts of Greece. And what is MC? A hunter, so a warrior. And would you look at that? If you look at the Wikipedia page of Aphrodite, look at all of this. So we know that her planet is Venus. We know that. The symbols that she's associated with: animals, sparrow, dove, swan, hare, fish, and some other here. When you have Silas on the home screen, and even in some of his cards, he often talks about sparrows. It usually refers to the people that are following him, like, for example, the people from Ever, but it's an interesting choice to use sparrows. Dove, MC once saves a dove and put it in Silas's care because she has to go away for some time, and she has been referred or compared to a dove with Caleb, if I remember correctly, somewhere. The swan, we have the swan prince with Raphael during the last summer events. The hare is basically a bunny, which is Xavier. And the fish, of course, Raphael. As symbols, we have seashells, pearls that are both associated with Raphael because Raphael, mermaid. A mirror, which is the gift Silas gave us on our birthday this year. Anemone is a flower, but also like the anemone like in the sea, right? Sea anemone. And I think in the birthday card of Raphael, there's like some kind of sea flower that lands on our hand for a moment. And Narcissus is also a flower, except I've seen the name Narcissus in game, and I'm pretty sure that it was related to Ever and the Fountain of Ate. And the Fountain of Ate is apparently the thing of like the fountain of eternal youth, or like basically making you immortal kind of thing. Tree. Oh, would you look at that? Apple and pomegranate. Caleb and Silas. Both of them. And of course, she had several lovers. Of course. Also, keep the letters in mind for now. So like I said, I'm listing things here. And I went to dig a little deeper because, of course, Aphrodite is in Greek mythology, and in Roman mythology, she's Venus. And at some point, like, there's the Hellenistic kind of thing. Like, we have this the aspect, the Greco-Roman aspect. But Aphrodite Venus is also she has counterparts or syncretized other deities that have the same role. Let's look a little bit. The funny thing is that we have many versions of Aphrodite. Like even Aphrodite herself in the Greek myth, we have many versions of Aphrodite, which can be considered as different entity or could be used by Infold as different lifetimes, because we know that she had a life with every love interest, many actually. Would you look at that? Freya and Other, I don't know how to read Norse. Freya, the Norse goddess of love, beauty, and magic, is sometimes compared to the Norse counterpart of Aphrodite. She was married to this guy, a mysterious figure often associated with Odin. Odin is like the god of the Norse pantheon, right? He's like Zeus. However, he mysteriously disappeared, leaving Freya to wander the world, weeping golden tears for him. Some versions hint that loving Freya doomed him, though the exact nature of his fate isn't clear. Does this remind you of something? And this is Norse mythology, which means, you know, countries like Iceland or Norwegia or Sweden or Finland. Because this is the ending of the myth pair of Zane, Master of Fate. At the end of the Master of Fate myth, Zane disappears mysteriously, and MC is left alone to wander the world. And of course, she's crying. And, he's related to Odin, the god, and we know that Zane is under Astra. You see where I'm going? Hold on to your socks, I'm not done yet. And then, well, I looked a little bit more. Ishtar and Tammuz, which is from Mesopotamian mythology. Ishtar, the Mesopotamian goddess of love and war, is similar to Aphrodite, but more dangerous, because Ishtar is definitely associated with the star, like Venus. So this is like literally a counterpart. Was notorious for bringing doom to her lovers. The most famous case is Tammuz or Dumuzid, her mortal shepherd lover. After they became lovers, he was condemned to spend part of the year in the underworld. Essentially suffering because of his connection to her. Ishtar herself caused his downfall when she cursed him in a moment of anger. This should be reminding you of something. Other myths says that her past lovers were often abandoned or destroyed, suggesting that falling in love with her was a curse in itself. But I'm not done. This should already start to remind you of something. If we look a little bit more, Sumerian king, blah blah blah. Eridu, by the way, is Eden. The early Sumerian text, Inanna's descent to the netherworld. So Inanna is another name for Ishtar. We have Ishtar is in Mesopotamia you have the Akkadian and the Babylonian. So sometimes you have two names for the same person, just like here we have Tammuz and Dumuzid, they're the same. So Inanna and Ishtar were just the same deity, is just one is the Akkadian name and the other one is the Babylonian name, but they're the same. Inanna's descent to the netherworld mentions the city's temple, a temple to Lulal. In this tale, Inanna dissuades demons from the netherworld from taking Lulal, the patron of the city, who was living in squalor, they eventually take Dumuzid, who live in palatial opulence. Blah, 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 blah. Fast forward, I look into Lulul. Not MC and Caleb. Lulul was a Mesopotamian god associated with Inanna, usually as a servant deity or bodyguard, but in a single text as a son, so we're going to skip that because it's just one text. His name has a Sumerian origin and can be translated as Syrupman. In the 2nd and 1st millennium, Lulul evolved into an anthropomorphic god-demon used on protective amulets, figurines, and exorcist paraphernalia, used in apotropic rituals, blah, 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 blah. Big weather beast. Keep that in mind. Fast forward to his relationship with Inanna. Lulu's connection with the goddess Inanna is well attested. He appears as her bodyguard in Inanna's descent to the netherworld and is referenced as serving her in battle in another text. This association between them has been characterized as close but unspecified. In a single composition. We are not going to go over this one, though. But what is interesting is that a storm demon. We're going to skip that. Without the divine determinative, the name Lulul could function as an epithet of Inanna's lover. As evidenced by the text, Song of the Lettuce. Lettuce. Hi, Phoenix. How are you doing? Lettuce is here. Blah, blah, blah. In this case, it most likely should be understood literally as Syrupman rather than as a reference to the god. Terms relating to Syrupman only means like relationship, right? Whether Lulul himself should be regarded as a divine lover is uncertain, though it has been proposed that in some cases he could be identified with Dumuzi, well tested as such a role, which is here. This is the myth of Silas. This is literally the myth of Silas. When MC is thrown into the netherworld, which is the underworld, the abyss, right? And where she meets Silas, and you know what happens next. And also in the myth, we noticed that Silas has the ability to influence the weather with his emotions. So, weather beast. He's a fiend. And despite being a fiend, which could be like a dragon, a fiend can also be a demon. This is the myth of Silas. The limited myth. And it's funny also because when they released a video to talk about like the inspirations and stuff, they said that they took inspiration from the Greek myth, except the dragons in ancient Greece and Greek myths are not actual dragons, which means they do not have like 4 legs and wings. They're more like serpents, kind of like in Chinese mythology. And Silas is a dragons with 4 limbs and wings. So I'm like, are you sure you took inspiration from the Greek myth? Because it looks like you took inspiration from the Mesopotamian myth. And that the only reference is basically Tartarus. That's all. And for Raphael, it's pretty straightforward in my opinion. I don't have like screenshots or everything, but I can tell you, obviously for Raph, it's about the sea, right? Poseidon was one of the lovers of Aphrodite. Like we could stop at that. Poseidon was one of the lovers of Aphrodite. They also mixed in, though, the Atlantis myth of Poseidon and Cleito. Very interesting. Look it up. And in one of his lives, though, it's like maybe my favorite 4-star card of him. He goes to the witch siren of the deep, right? And for that one, they use the myth of Glaucus and Scylla and Circe. Circe being the witch. And we know that Infold loves mixing things together. So this is for Raphael. Lettuce, so MC is the lettuce lady. But it really implies that MC is Aphrodite, so all the myth could be pieces of Aphrodite's life, but from her lover's POV. Could be, and it could be like including actually all the versions of Aphrodite, or we should say just like Venus, and include all the deities that are associated with Venus, which is like love, fertility, prosperity, and even like war in some aspects. And I go further than that after, because I go back to this. By the way, see how Lulu is said to be a demon of storms and a big weather beast, and how they made amulets of him for protection. Remember that in Silas' myth, Silas' mood changes the weather, and that in his myth they made amulets and trinkets representing him, like him, the fiend, the dragon, for protection. And he buys the whole stall for MC. And like I said, they said they took inspiration from Greek mythology, but the thing is that in Greek myth, there aren't winged dragons. They're more like Chinese dragons, serpent-like. Hades was the only one, like if you think Tartarus and the underworld, you're gonna think of Hades. And in his trailer, he has like the letters H, D, S. So everybody was like, oh, he's Hades. There's the pomegranate as well. So they were like, oh, he's Hades and MC is Persephone, right? Hades was the only one to not have a relationship or affair with Aphrodite. At least not the widely known Aphrodite. Because it turns out that there is a part of Greece that worshipped Aphrodite, Ctonia, which is the same where they worship her as a warrior goddess. Like I said, we have many versions of Aphrodite, aka Aphrodite of the underworld. And she and Persephone were considered two aspects of the same entity. They were like a duality, basically. So, I rest my case. MC is Aphrodite / Venus. Oh, and if we look at the Caleb point of view, obviously, the Bible doesn't have a goddess of love because it's the Bible, so there's only one true God, right? From their perspective. But take Aphrodite, rather, and make her human. And what do you have? Take Aphrodite, make her human. What do you have? Eve. You take a goddess of love, fertility, etc., and you put her in human form. You stripped her of her divinity, and you have Eve. And I think I could put the nail in the coffin with that. I could put the nail in the coffin with that. So I have an additional element, which is you. I have to remember. No, what was the name already? Hang on. I don't want to write that poorly. Oh, it was Shi Wangmu. Shi Wangmu. Shi Wangmu. If you look at Shi Wangmu, who is she? Because let's not forget that Love and Deepspace is a Chinese game, right? Oh, it's in French. Hang on. English. We're gonna go dark. Oh, thank you. So, let's not forget that Genshin. Love and Deepspace is a Chinese game, right? Let's not forget that. Even though, like Genshin, they like taking inspiration from the Western myths. And I asked ChatGPT to summarize that for me, and he was very efficient. So I was like, what are the symbols associated with Shi Wangmu? I don't know if the page is actually like well filled. They have like all the Chinese names, so I'm gonna summarize that for you. Well, I'll leave the page here. So Shi Wangmu, aka the Queen Mother of the West, is a goddess of immortality. Let's remember that MC is immortal, fertility, divine femininity, and of course, like things like love, etc., etc. She's associated with the Kunlun Mountain, and she governs over the Peach of Immortality, which grants eternal life to those who consume it. Here are some key symbols of Shi Wangmu. So we have the Peach of Immortality. Interestingly, we had peaches this year in Raphael's birthday event. The Phoenix, because death and rebirth, okay. We have clouds as a symbol. We have the lion. And people are suspecting that the sixth love interest will be associated with a lion. Maybe. They're like speculating. The jade, which we have associated with Zane. The lotus is a flower, okay. The Rui is a like scepter. Dragon. White tiger and the moon. Reminder that clouds are often seen associated with Xavier, and that Silas is a dragon, right? And the jade, as I said, associated with Zane, like in multiple stories and myth. I asked if there were like lesser known symbols. And actually there's something called the Jade Rabbit, who lives on the moon and pours the elixir of immortality. Remember that Xavier, who comes from space, is immortal. And that he's associated with the rabbit and the moon. For fish, there wasn't like really a straight up association. But, interestingly, one of our lesser known symbols, it's here actually, is a tortoise. Turtle. And with Raphael, MC is the turtle. Like, we have that in multiple cards where MC is supposed like to be represented as a turtle. We have the crane. I don't know if we have anything with a crane. But yeah. We have the cloud and the jade bunny for Xavier. We have Jade as a whole for Zane. We have a dragon for Silas. We have the turtle for Raphael. The peach could be... Maybe it could be the one for Caleb and they took something else instead. Because Love and Deepspace loves to just like mix things together and not just take one thing. Or it could be the clouds as well, because he's a pilot and his banner on Moments is literally the sky. So it could be Caleb for the clouds. So yeah. Now I can properly rest my case that MC is Venus / Aphrodite / Freya / Inanna / Hiwonmu. I rest my case. We can play Love and Deepspace now. That was a long one, but I think it was worth it. I think it was worth it. It was a big one. It was like I had to go through so much stuff. It was faster than I expected, though. Alright, I'm gonna stream the game. Let's go for chapter 5 and 6 today. I also we're gonna hide Opera. There he is. There he is. I already have the card. I got the cards from the Promise, so the Battle Pass. If you want, today after the story, we can maybe watch these because they are paywalled since they're from the Battle Pass. So if you want, we can watch those. There's one for Caleb and one for Xavier.
It will always be a smooth landing.
Or we could do the bonds instead. But since those are paywalled, I thought that this would be interesting for you guys. Hi, Caleb. How you doing? He was very sweet last night. That sounds weird. It sounds weird when it's said like that, right? He was just like, he was just cute. That's all. Nothing weird. Hey. Let me do my dailies real quick while I wait for you guys to give me your feedback on today's plan. We got that. We got the daily pack. Thank you. I needed that. What do we need then? Oh, it's Silas Day. I will do that later. Check in. Supply. Thank you. Alright. Yeah, nothing. No, he was like, literally, he was just like, I was just like, did the application freeze? Why did it freeze? Somehow it stopped monitoring. Alright. No freezing now? We okay? No, nothing. I was just like tapping his hand.
Back then, whenever you were bored, you'd always poke me.
Like, things like that. Nothing weird. Like, he was just like being cute. He doesn't want to answer. Hey, talk to me. Talk to me, Kayla. I think doing the paywall card is good, yeah. It froze because Zane had a problem with Easy Ball. Alright, let's continue. We were at chapter 5. Chapter 5. Eternal Aurora. It's a Zane chapter, Orion. You're gonna be happy. It's a Zane chapter. So we left off last time. Caleb just exploded, and MC was sad, understandably. Caleb and Grandma exploded, and she was feeling sad. And then a wanderer attack when Zane was trying to comfort us. And we got the thing that Grandma left behind, where basically she says that we were a lab rat. And she was part of the team that was experimenting on us, but she was starting to feel like this was wrong. Like, deep inside she was like, no, that's wrong. Because Josephine, our grandma, was human. Like, she was not a heartless monster like those guys are from ever. And she was recounting the Chronoriff catastrophe and how she found us after, and Caleb as well, and she took us in. That's what's in the letter. Please do Rast's birthday card whenever possible next time. Can't do that. I can do just one chapter today, and we can do both cards, the paywalled ones and Raphael's birthday card if you want. And we can do just chapter 5, and we push back chapter 6 for next time. We can do that as well. Alright, unspoken secret. Oh wait, evil would also match with MC because... yeah, evil is love but reversed. Yeah. I'm very bright. I think I'm gonna turn back the light on because... does it work? Okay. Are you gonna feel better now? I'm gonna put it a bit lower. 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 Okay, I think I'm at the lowest. Okay, I'm less, like, pale. Thanks for the posture check. Thanks for the hydrate. My voice is giving out. I should have taken a spoonful of honey before starting. I miscalculated here. Alright, I'm gonna read out, and as always, when there's an ad, I will stop so I can wait for you guys. I press my thumb down on the lock, and Grandma's box opens with a light mechanical click. The lamp on the desk shines over yellowed papers. The ones at the top of the pile appear to contain experimental data with diagrams. Observation log. The subject's heart has been stable for the past 72 hours. Preliminary assessments indicate fusion with the ether core was successful. AC fluctuation test number 1. So AC is ether core. The energy fluctuation value of the ether core has reached level 2. The subject's heart is stable. AC fluctuation test number 2. The energy fluctuation value of the ether core has reached level 3. The subject's heart is stable. Fusing a protocore with a human heart? Why did Grandma have records about an illegal experiment like this? It is also the first time I've heard of a protocore called an ether core. Could it be related to the one the association is looking for? I jot down the name of this special protocore and continue to read the files. The next few sheets report a similar data. The last sheet, however, is handwritten instead of typed. AC fluctuation test number 22. The energy fluctuation value of the ether core has reached level 7. The subject is showing abnormal signal. Warning, stop it. The messy red handwriting ends with The messy red handwriting ends with 3 startling exclamation marks. This looks like Grandma's handwriting. As I read the documents, a feeling of dread fills the room. Gender: female. Age: 7-8. Evil: Unhausen class. This is MC's evil. She has the Unhausen class evil, which is the resonance evil. There's no name in the subject information category, but there's enough to make an educated guess. Unhausen class evil. Could this test subject be? Questions and answers interlock like chains in my mind. The sweet grandma I knew has revealed a side of her I didn't know she had. Could the test subject in these records be me? As the initial shock subsides, I hesitate for a moment, then I pick up the phone to call the only person who might have an answer.
Did something happen?
Zane, I need to ask you a question. Sensing the urgency in my voice, Zane's voice also becomes serious.
I'm listening.
It's about my heart. Is the protocore fragment in it the same as the ones in other protocore syndrome patients? I just went through the stuff Grandma left me. The voice on the other end of the phone is silent. Zane seems to be thinking about how to respond.
It certainly is a strange protocore fragment. After reviewing your condition, I've tried to find similar cases. But as far as I'm aware, you are the only one.
Is that because it's the ether core? You're my primary care physician. Grandma also entrusted you to give me these papers. She must have a good reason.
It's only been 6 months since she passed. Regardless, aside from its name, I don't know much about it. The fragment in your heart has been there for a long time. Perhaps there's someone who can provide us with information.
Yeah. Not the someone we think about, but yeah.
You remember Dr. Noah?
The person Zane is talking about was the previous chief medical officer of Axel Hospital. He's an old acquaintance of Grandma and Zane's teacher. He is also the first doctor to treat my heart disease. If anyone knows something about the files Grandma left, it's him.
Dr. Noah is currently doing a personal research project in Snowcrest. If you want to meet him, I can help you get in touch. However, the weather in that area has been quite unpredictable as of late. The train to Snowcrest is often unavailable. I suggest visiting him in 2 weeks.
I don't have the time. Alright, I think about it. I try my best to sound nonchalant, but I already made up my mind. This is like where things are starting to pick up.
So you're already in the Arctic? Did anyone go with you?
Don't worry, I'm just going to relax at Snowcrest. I'll be back in a few days.
Really? That's good. If you kept working so much, they'd need to install an anti-workaholic mechanism in the watch. Have fun in your vacation!
Yeah, I'll get some souvenirs for you. Please help, Zane. I end the call with Tara. Outside, the blizzard has stopped. The sky appears more vivid in other places. Than in other places. The dazzling blue hues cascade past the snow-capped mountains.
Ladies and gentlemen, we regret to inform you that the next train to Snowcrest has been cancelled. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Oh, dang. We're currently in the middle of travel season. After hearing the announcement, the people on the platform drag their luggage back to the waiting room and grumble. After getting Dr. Noah's contact info from Zane yesterday, I immediately scheduled a meeting for today. Watching the time tick away on my phone, I approached the counter, unwilling to give up on my journey. Excuse me, are there other ways to get to the snow... Sorry. Excuse me, are there other ways to get to Snowcrest besides taking the Boreas Express? I can't read.
We still don't know if the train has been cancelled because of the weather or for another reason. For your safety, please wait.
1 cheesecake and 1 croissant, please. Thank you.
A familiar voice reaches my ears. Surprised, I turn around and spot Zane at a cafe nearby. Zane? His fingers pause over the glass display. Zane looks at me, but he doesn't seem surprised.
It's you.
I immediately regret calling out to him. I try to suppress my guilt and wave at him. I pretend it's just a normal day. Why are you here?
There's been a new development in Dr. Noah's research. He asked me to visit him a week ago.
Boreas. Oh, they really went deep into mythology. After answering my poor excuse of a question, Zane's gaze shifts back to the freshly baked bread on the counter.
He's not as young as he used to be and can't always do things alone anymore. I help him whenever I'm not too busy with work. Would you like to eat something together?
Of course we meet him accidentally. Of course we meet him accidentally. Thanks. I'll get a sandwich then.
Sir, the 2 lattes you ordered are ready. Here are to go.
Accidentally. As Zane is about to pay, I beat him to it. It's on me. Since we're both stuck at the station, why don't we keep each other... I noticed the 2 lattes on the counter and suddenly realized there's something off. Why did you get 2 lattes? He makes us laugh, and takes one of the lattes from me. The hot steam shrouds the smile on his face.
Did I say we met by chance?
Accidentally. Zane knows he's MC. He is very sweet. His current card on banner is also very sweet. But it's a solo card, so. There is only one flight from Lincoln City to the Arctic. It departs in the morning and arrives in the evening local time once a day. Snowcrest, where Dr. Noah is, isn't that far from the train station. But because of how undeveloped the transportation system is in this vast, sparsely populated region, we can only take this particular train to go there. Hi Poocha, how are you doing? The display screen hanging overhead shows rows and rows of red delayed notices. The number of people in the waiting room decreases. As we wait, my mind recalls the files Grandma left me. There must be secrets behind it that are connected to me. Maybe it can also explain that explosion.
What are you thinking about?
Oh, you know, my dead grandma. Zane's voice interrupts my drifting thoughts. I force a smile. I'm thinking about what an ether core is and why it was fused with my heart. What if I'm a dangerous experiment that escaped from a secret lab? Maybe armed men in suits will suddenly appear to take me away in a few seconds. That's totally not gonna happen, right? That's totally not what this is, huh? Right? I'm good, sleepy but good. What about you? I'm okay, my throat is just hurting me and I should have taken a spoonful of honey before starting the stream, but other than that, I'm okay. Zane listens to my wild thoughts without interrupting me. Well, a few seconds have passed and nothing happened.
Maybe you'll get your answers when we arrive in Snowcrest.
Zane gently comforts me as if sensing my fear.
The protocore energy in your heart has always been stable. It can form an invisible shield to protect your heart when you're attacked. You also haven't become as weak as other patients with protocore syndrome. In other words, it's a power made just for you.
Interesting. It was made just for me? Oh, it sounds like we were like crafted and not born.
You won't have to worry about it anytime soon. You'll live for a long time, long enough to find out the truth.
I put my hand over my chest, trying to feel for anything weird with my heartbeat. Will the person who put the ethopore in my heart want it back one day?
Ladies and gentlemen, we regret to inform you that the train to Snowcrest will be delayed until 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Really? It will be that long?
I'm not surprised. We'll have to spend the night in a hotel near the station.
A group of fully geared hunters rushes past us. The evil railguns in their hands are glowing blue. They're clearly charged. To be armed, and is the delay caused by wanderers?
Let's get going. Heard wanderers showed up in the dispatch center.
Is that Caleb's voice?
Let's get going. Heard wanderers showed up in the dispatch center.
That is Caleb's voice. He voiced some NPCs.
That sucks. I wanted to see the Aurora and Snowcrest.
They pick up their luggage and follow the very apologetic, this is such a hard word, apologetic staff to a nearby hotel. Yeah, apparently I have good ears, but yeah, this has to be like Caleb.
Let's get going. Heard wanderers showed up in the dispatch center.
This is Caleb. Like it's maybe like it's not Caleb, right? But he voiced. Definitely Caleb, yeah. Definitely Caleb. Because this was like on release, so generally on release you tend to like get the VAs to voice a lot of NPCs, so you have like not a lot of VAs to pay for a game that just launched. I stay on the bench. Zane wants to get up, but stops after glancing at me.
Are we not leaving?
Leaving? I'm stubborn as heck. Those hunters are on a mission. They must have a way to get to wherever they need to go, no matter how bad the weather is. An idea pops into my mind. I grab Zane by the arm and chase after them. Let's help out. We skip the battle.
Thanks a bunch. The dispatch center was quite crowded. Lincoln hunters like yourself have more experience in evacuating people and preparing for battle.
Welcome. Don't mention it. We all learn from one another.
The magnetic field here is unique. Wanderers usually hang around the snowfield and mountains. They only started appearing in crowded places recently. It's probably because...
You're hiding something. He smells and trails off. That information is probably classified.
Judging from the scale of the damage at the dispatch center, no trains will be leaving from today onward. You guys are headed for Snowcrest, right? If you'd like, we could lend you a transport vehicle. It'll be bumpy, but it can traverse the snowy terrain.
That was our plan. You have my gratitude.
It's parked right outside the train station. Come with me.
It starts to snow outside. Zen and I stand in the freezing wind. A majestic 4-dog sleigh is in front of us. The dogs are all handsome and have thick fur. Their height is around half an average person. They're huskies! Huskies are very handsome dogs.
What do you think? It's a specialty here. Treat it like a tourist experience.
Awesome.
It's up to you now. My team is leaving. See ya!
Another cold gust blows past us. I look at Zane quietly and smile sheepishly. We won't be able to make it to Snowcrest tonight. Maybe we should just find a hotel nearby. Zane hops onto the sleigh and grabs the reins effortlessly with his gloved hands.
Get on.
So you know how to drive? I mean, ride it?
Not all of my trips were accompanied by medical staff. I've ridden these sleighs a few times.
But those are actual dogs.
You're on the deluxe snow dog. The auto driving system has been fully upgraded. Please select one of the following to start your adventure. Sightseeing. Full speed ahead. Children friendly.
Maybe they're not actual dogs. It can talk. I stumble as I board the sleigh and almost fall into the snow. Zane grabs my arm just in time. In the howling wind, Zane glances at me through his goggles. His voice, muffled by his scarf, carries a hint of mirth.
Shall we get going?
Please drive safely. It's funny because last time it was us that took him on our motorcycle. After passing through the vast snowfields, the terrain becomes ever more mountainous. At the end of the horizon is Snowcrest, shrouded in dusk. The sleigh dogs start their journey back immediately. I rub my slightly wind-burned face and walk to Zane. Judging from how well you steered, you're definitely not someone who helps out a few times a year. You're like a local. What did Dr. Noah say? Should we go directly to him, or...?
He said he's busy at the moment and can't pick us up in person. But...
Zane pauses. Curious, I meet his gaze.
He's arranged our pickup ride.
A snow-white silhouette suddenly appears between us. What is that? That's Pi!
I almost forgot how clingy he is.
In response, the white creature leaps out from the flower bed and lands on Zane's luggage. Only now do I see it's a little white fox. No, it's a fox. It's an Arctic fox. His name is Pi. Zane closes his eyes as if hit by migraine. When he opens his eyes, his expression returns to normal.
You've gained weight, Pi.
You two know each other?
He is Dr. Noah's pickup ride.
Like, how cool is that? Dr. Noah has a pet fox. Well trained. A pet Arctic fox. They're rare.
Pi.
The fox ignores Zane, but paws at the canned pet food Zane had bought from Lincoln. In this cold, soulless world where advanced technology reigns supreme, it's surprising to see gluttonous creatures like you. Here, eat as much as you want. I kneel down to pat the little fox's head. He turns to rub against me affectionately before eating more food.
He loves food, but not the person who bought it.
Did Dr. Noah name him Pi because his favorite dessert is white pie?
When Dr. Noah adopted him, he ate 6 pies in one go.
Black hole instead of stomach, yeah. 6 pies in one go. I can't help but chuckle. Zane lifts up Pi's right leg to check something. There's a little thing strapped to it. What is that? put an air tag on the fox for a vaccination. I suddenly feel like Pi isn't simply Dr. Noah's pet. Zane has always kept a tight lid on his polar-related research. He calls it a vacation or a visit to his teacher. What has he and Dr. Noah been researching? And why does it have to be done in such a cold place? As I watch Zane brush off the crumbs from Pi's whiskers, my curiosity grows.
Pi is very special. He's as intelligent as a 9-year-old child.
A very intelligent little fox.
Don't be fooled by his cute, innocent appearance.
With a poker face, Zane blocks Pi's attempt to pick up another can and taps the fox's head.
You only get 1 can of snacks per day. Go on now.
Pi is really cute. He's like Peppy in Honkai Star Rail, basically. Pi leads us swiftly through the streets. It takes a while, but we finally arrive at the place where Dr. Noah lives. MC should ask, why did you choose cardiology out of every specialization? Well, that would force Zane to admit that he did that for her. Before we can enter the front yard, we hear the sound of some creature whining and struggling.
There. The pain is gone now.
Little animals run around, stirring up snow and dirt. An old man wearing a large coat comforts the polar mink in his arms.
Zane, what are you waiting for? Help me.
Well, hello, first.
1 second.
Huh? There's a hint of metaflux in the air. Is it from the mink? Before I can ask, Zane traps a bunch of black furballs scurrying about the yard with an ice cage he creates.
Are there other escapees?
No. I messed up my yard again.
Get off my lawn, you punk! Zane catches another few animals in the same way and put them back in their cages.
Does the antagonist no longer work?
Its effectiveness was shortened by a week. It seems the metaflux around this area is increasing again. Oh, hello. Long time no see.
Dr. Noah dusts off the snow on his knees, gets up, and walks over with a wide smile on his face. Hi, and thanks for the follow, Beezus, and welcome. Not the lawn ups his neighbor.
Come on in. It'll be warmer inside.
For sure. Because there's little snow outside. Ether core.
How's the fish? It's not much, but I caught it myself.
This is the first time I've eaten a very sweet fish. It has a unique flavor.
Dr. Noah is very old, so his taste buds don't work anymore.
Yeah, not that it bothers you since you love sweets so much, Zane. It's not much, but it's honest work. Taps the roof of the fish. I like Dr. Noah's home though, because look how pretty it is. Might be an old man, and his taste bud might not be working, but his tastes in decoration are pretty good. After dinner, we sit in front of the fireplace together. Having eaten his fill, Pi sleeps between me and Zane. Dr. Noah puts on his spectacles and studies the files I brought.
So your grandmother told you everything?
Well, she didn't tell me because she died, but all she left me was this box of files. The rest I can only speculate. Is the protocore in my heart really an ether core, and was it placed there on purpose?
I don't know why or how the process was done, but in regards to the protocore, Even a minimally invasive surgery can leave behind traces.
Dr. Noah looks up at me with expectant eyes.
If I had to guess, it might be your innate strength.
How can that...
There are countless, seemingly impossible hypotheses behind every scientific conclusion. Before the evol gene emerged, no one believed they could wield the power of nature.
But all experiments have a purpose. What could the ether core in my heart possibly prove? Immortality, that's what it proves.
What were they trying to prove?
The old man laughs dryly and shakes his head.
Why do you think people want to go inside the deep space tunnel? Some things are attractive by simply existing. Unraveling the unknown is a purpose in and of itself. Some are willing to do anything to achieve their goals. So, don't let anyone know about your ether core.
Yeah, we won't tell anyone. While I haven't told everyone, Grandma is... I try to suppress the pain in my heart and compose myself. The person responsible for this will find me sooner or later. That's why I need to know what makes the ether core so special. You say there are people willing to do anything to achieve their goals. Who exactly?
Ether was originally something philosophers came up with. The fifth element, so to speak.
By philosophers, if you mean the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, then yeah.
No one can prove or disprove ether exists. Maybe that's the reason your grandmother called it ether.
I have to put one more nail in the coffin of my theory of MC being Venus. I forgot about this. It was like right under my nose the whole time. I forgot about it. This is the last nail in the theory. Ether. I just mentioned, like, when you say philosopher, do you mean like the people like from the Kabbalah with the Tree of Life, the Tree of Kliboth? Or should I say the Tree of Death, which is the Tree of Kliboth? So the opposite of the Tree of Death is the Tree of Life. And the Tree of Life, at the top, you have like 3 spheres. And the one on the very top is ether. All spheres of the Tree of Life are associated with angels and seraphs, which are angels. But if you look at the Tree of Death, which is the Klipothic tree of life, it's like the opposite. So each sphere is like mirrored. Each sphere is governed by a demon/fallen angel, and the ones at the very top or bottom, depending on how you look at it, are supposed to represent like the Trinity, etc., etc. The one at the very top/bottom is the one that corresponds to ether. And, well, the person, the spirit that governs that sphere is supposed to be Lucifer. Yeah. You know, the morning star, Venus. So yeah. Anyway.
A mysterious energy that surpasses the other protocores. Anyone who knows about it will desire it.
And anyone who has it will pay the price. The ether core is at the center of an intricate web. That what happened to my family is just one thread of it. As if sensing my thoughts, Dr. Noah gently pats me on the shoulder.
Don't worry about it too much. They shouldn't be able to find you anytime soon.
Yeah, right.
The amount of energy in your heart right now is far less than what the experimental data shows. It's possible an accident occurred in the final experiment, which reduced the Aether Core's power.
Reduced power?
I'm just guessing. This is beyond my field of expertise.
Sorry. Who else knows about the experiments?
To better understand your heart's condition, I tried to contact those researchers privately. But most had either died or disappeared. It'd be hard to find any of them today.
How strange.
I do recall your grandmother mentioning one had run away to, N109 zone. They joined Anakinus.
Anakinus. And we now know who he is. Philip! Philip? I didn't expect to hear that name from him, but after giving it some thought, it makes sense.
Their fellow researchers started dying or disappearing soon after that.
How strange. Wonder why. I only knew Grandma used to do scientific research, but she never mentioned what she researched. Our home also didn't have any hints about her past. What did Grandma research? Myself. Dr. Noah, oh, there's an ad starting in 1 minute. Just a word of warning. Dr. Noah, I have one last question about Grandma. Was she the person who put the ether core in my heart?
I don't know. I know very little about your grandmother. But not everyone is lucky enough to do what's right in the beginning. We can only hope we'd have the chance to turn it into something we won't regret.
Dr. Noah puts all the files back into the box and hands it to me.
Maybe this is the choice she made.
The ad starts in 10 seconds, so we'll wait for the next chapter. We have only two left, so we have the time to do something else after. How bizarre, how eccentric, people disappearing and dying out of nowhere, and they were all from the same workplace before, and they were like researchers working on an illegal experiment. Funny, but not funny, haha. Funny ever. Damn. I don't know which one I want to do first after that. I don't know if I want to do Caleb's Battle Pass card or the new Raphael's birthday card. I don't know which one. Personally, I would do Caleb, but I'm biased. So, the Raphael birthday card though is like super good. It's a 5-star, it's not like the Battle Pass one, so depends. Just assuming our ability to customize MC can also add to the lab creation theory. Yeah, I can see your train of thought here. Hi, Fluffy Clouds. Who jumps into chat like, Caleb! Okay, we only have like these 2 chapters left. And then we can pick one of the limited cards or paywalled cards. In the stillness of night, all is quiet except for the muffled crackling of the fireplace. Occasionally, a few sparks pop out from the flames, making a crisp sound. After tossing and turning in my bed, I decided to sit in front of the fireplace and go through the files left by Grandma. The ether core, energy incomparable to other protocores. Grandma knew someone might target people related to ether cores. Is that why she kept me in the dark for so long? What should I do now? While my mind is a tangled mess, I hear a rhythmic tapping sound from the French windows. They're French windows? It's funny how they call that French windows. What would they do? They have baguettes and they say putain. As I turn, I see Zane standing there with a thin layer of snow on his hair.
The Aurora?
Oh my god, yes! Yes. Very cute Zane moment.
Will there really be one tonight?
The weather forecast predicted heavy snowfall with cloudy skies, and the KP index is low. It's unlikely we'll see an aurora.
Then why did you...
When visiting for the first time, an aurora is required to make the trip worthwhile. Look, the snow has stopped. Only at the very end will someone know if there is a watershed moment.
Until the very end. Yet, Grandma and those researchers, they... But there are people who persist until the very end, only to be defeated.
I meant the aurora.
Same.
Same. Yeah, his eyes look so soft.
What's that over there?
Mount Eternal.
Oh. I remember. It had an anomalous protofield a few years back. Dr. Noah chose to live here in the Arctic. For your research project, right?
Not necessarily. My friend sacrificed himself during the protofield anomaly that took place here.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
Is there more to his sacrifice? Like a secret?
It was an accident. It's already in the past.
Do you think the pain caused by death can truly be forgotten with time?
It cannot. Time can't heal everything, nor can someone simply forget the pain. However, people can become accustomed to sorrow.
But time has helped you and Dr. Noah find things worth living for, hasn't it?
The aurora.
I wish I could see one in real life.
You're right. An aurora is required to make an Arctic trip worthwhile. It's a shame we can only enjoy it for a few moments.
I think it's a lot of people's goals to see an aurora.
If you're sad, let this stay behind to appreciate the aurora in your place.
Oh.
Is that snowman supposed to be me? Are you going to stay in Snowcrest for a while longer? Well, I'll leave this with you then. Will the snowman remind you of me?
No. However, when I do think of you, I'll just call.
To give me more doctor's orders? You're a very dedicated physician.
After you leave here and return home, you'll likely be quite busy.
Yeah. Busy learning about the secrets of the ether core and Anakinus. Let's hope that both of us can find the truth we seek.
Plot twist is connected. Hi, Leo. No, because I put myself into sleep mode, so I don't have notifications. Hi, babe. How you doing, babe? This is my husband. I wanted to be like professional, be like, "Hi, Neo. Thanks for joining the stream today. How are you doing?" I'm going back to sleep. Good night.
Good night.
I bid farewell to Zane once we return to the living room. The aurora might have actually put me at ease. A wave of tiredness overwhelms me. Just because you're seeing your boyfriends doesn't mean you have to forget who's your owner. I mean, we're playing Love and Deepspace, so I'm not gonna hold it against him. This isn't the mood of Love and Deepspace. Especially Zane. No, not Zane. Especially Silas and Caleb for that. Alright.
Wait.
Yes, forget typos, okay? He picks up the documents scattered on the sofa, then he quickly organizes them and hands them to me.
Here. These documents contain information about the energy in your heart and its connection to the ether core. If they're leaked, you might become Onakainis' next target.
Well, about that... I know. But why would they kill researchers who worked with an ether core? They want to keep its existence a secret?
Perhaps they don't want anyone else to get their hands on it, as they try to obtain one for themselves.
Zane, have something funny for you. Okay, I can spam you with reels while waiting for the child, then see ya. See you later. Yeah, you can spam me. I'm in sleep mode, so.
Or there are ether cores already in their possession, and they're currently trying to keep it secret.
How about both? I pause for a moment, and then grab the documents from Zane's hand.
What is it?
She said there could be ether cores in Onakainis' possession, right? I quickly flip through the documents, and an idea forms in my mind.
I was only speculating.
No, you might be onto something. Found it. Energy at rest. 3021.7 EV. This is my heart's minimum energy output value that corresponds to the ground state of the ether core. It dawns on me. I lift my arm and use the Hunter's Watch to look through the database on that protocore in the no-harm zone. .9 EV. The protocurve of that protocore and the energy value in its ground state is close to the energy value of the ether core in my heart. Meanwhile, the energy value for ordinary protocores is around 2,500 EV. This can't be a coincidence. That protocore is a result of Onakainis using an ether core to modify it. As Dr. Noah said, the ether cores could already be in Onakainis' hand. A cheerful cry snaps me back to reality. Pi circles around me twice and curiously paws at the luggage by my feet.
It took a lot of effort to get here. Why not stay for a few more days?
Ah, I gotta go to the N109 zone. Thank you, but I want to go back home and double check something. When I have time, I'll visit you again. Then I'll stay until you beg me to leave.
Great. I'll hold you to it. I called a friend. He'll take you to the train station in a bit.
Is it Pi again? Oh no, it's Zane.
Pi.
Zane walks out of the house, carrying his belongings, and beckons Pi to his side.
All set?
Mm-hmm. It's freezing. Please go back inside. Pi will be my guide.
Zane exchanges a few words in a low voice with Dr. Noah and then walks over to me.
Stay safe.
I'll be so safe. I'll be safe. I'll be so safe. You know that meme? You really aren't coming with me?
What? Did you think I was joking when I said I was here on business?
No, not really. I shift my gaze, the distant snowy mountain in a deep slumber. For some reason, hearing that Zane plans to venture deep into Mount Eternal reminds me of what he mentioned last night. I still feel uneasy. You take care of yourself and Pi.
I will.
Pi barks twice at the entrance and Zane nods to Dr. Noah before turning around and leaving. As daybreak arrives, everything else is still sleeping. His figure disappears step by step as he heads into the wintry mountain. In boundless white, he stands out like a lone stroke of black paint on a blank canvas, adding a touch of depth and beauty to pure scenery. I blink and notice my vision has become slightly blurry. I rub my eyes and see tiny snowflakes. It's snowing again. Do you think it's like normal snow, or is it Zane's evil? Because he's forced to leave MC behind. Okay, I'm gonna run a quick poll. You tell me, do we do Doctor Who reference? Do we do I cannot unhear it now. Like Navi, Silas as well. No, but like, since there's like snow everywhere, I think it would be easy for him to do that.
Since you have some free time, we can revisit the plans we put on the back burner. For example, we still have that model we were working on. We only completed half of it, remember?
Did we? Do we do the promise, aka battle pass memory of Caleb? Or do we do Raphael's memory, birthday memory? Which one do we do today? I will push back chapter 6 to next time, and the one that isn't picked today will be next time. That doesn't come with a pose button, so no need to stay stuck in one pose. Bro said pause to check. Seville votes for Raph. I think Fluffy Clouds was for Caleb. Orion votes for Caleb. Okay, we have 2 Raph, 2 Caleb. We need a parting vote. How many of you are there? Someone else. Anyone. Please. We have 2 votes for Raph, 2 votes for Caleb. Which one do we do? Raphael's birthday card or Caleb's battle pass card? I need one more vote. Let's go Caleb. Thanks Takun for coming up. Don't worry for the RAF enjoyers. Next time will be RAF. Where is it? It's Pucha and Seville. I can stream them in the Discord if you want. I can stream RAF in the Discord if you can't wait until next Friday. I can do that. I can totally do that. There's no problem. I don't know who's... I just needed a parting one. Looks like me when I'm falling asleep. Thanks for the follow, Mishan. Welcome. Did you fall asleep while holding your phone? The fact that I saw that, I'm like, looks like me when I'm typing and falling asleep. But the fact that Xavier and I have the same MBTI type. Very telling. Caleb. So it was Deceptive Solitude. This is the one from the Battle Pass. A few days ago I received a box of old belongings from the insurance company. Inside I found a toy gun Caleb had given me when we were young. Midsummer's morning breeze sleeps through the open window and enters the living room, lifting the strands of hair on Caleb's forehead. He focuses on the toy gun in his hand. The silvery gray barrel regains its former sheen as he sends it down.
Pass me the small brush.
I'm quite busy with mixing the paint. Would it be too much trouble for you to bend down and grab it yourself? Although I say those words, I rummaged through the tool bag Caleb brought. Hey, let me read. I rummaged through the tool bag Caleb brought and handed him the brush.
This is your toy gun. And if you were better at hiding those sneaky glances, your excuse of being quite busy might hold water. Miss Busy Painter is engrossed in her work, right?
I'm focused on getting the paint just right. It's been a decade after all. A decade. It might take some time for me to remember. I'm pretty sure the gun stock was darker back then. I look at the freshly painted brown gun stock and feel like it doesn't match the one in my memory.
It's probably because the rubber is old, so the color's faded. It was darker before. You always complained it wasn't bright enough as a kid. Why not give it a new color while we're at it? Red, green, or bright yellow? It'll be very eye-catching.
Seeing Caleb's teasing eyes, I pick up the brush and move it around the palette, pretending to ponder. Then I quickly dab on some red, feigning a surprise attack, yet playfully poke Caleb's cheek with the brush handle. Fine, on top of changing the color, I'll also decorate the gun with colorful flowers and plants. And I'll make sure to show it off to your team and tell them about the exquisite taste of their stern and cool boss, Colonel Caleb.
Is this your idea of returning the favor?
I'm sprucing up your image as an amiable and friendly boss.
Really? Well, I appreciate the effort.
Hi, Stay with Lily. Thank you for the follow and welcome. Don't mention it. Okay, the gun stock is ready. Here you go. I shove the refurbished gun stock into Caleb's hand, stretch, and start rummaging through the wooden crate nearby.
Find anything interesting this time?
Dolls, models, cards, and a flyer and a contract from an insurance program. It's focused on 10 years in the future. Parties to the contracts, Moon and Caleb. As I gently touched the aged paper bearing our signatures, I noticed Caleb skillfully assembling the gun's parts out of the corner of my eye. Grandma was worried about our safety when she stored our toy guns. She never imagined that we would end up carrying real ones all the time.
We've come a long way from patrolling with paper guns in the shelter, ready to face the enemy. All set. Here you go, little sharpshooter.
I take the revamped tool gun, aim it at the illustrated guide to Wanderers on the shelf behind Caleb, and pull the trigger. A rubber bullet whizzes through the air and knocks the book off the shelf. But the gun doesn't reload. Puzzled, I fiddle with the cylinder. Cylinder? Is it jammed?
Sounds like it. Let me see.
Caleb dismantles the gun and removes the cylinder. Beneath the casing is a crack hidden in intricate design.
This kind of damage is irreversible. But there's a place that might help us.
I follow Caleb into a vintage shop on the outskirts of the city. The shop is tucked away in the alley. Its walls, covered in ivy, serve as a natural veil that adds to its mystery. So this is what people mean by unassuming outside, magical inside?
Oh, you've got a keen eye, miss. All the junk here has its own story to tell.
As the shop owner prepares to deliver a long speech, I awkwardly give Caleb a wink.
Sir, can you take a look at this cylinder?
The shopkeeper confidently sets down his magnifying glass and retrieves a similar cylinder from the shelf behind him.
This toy gun is very old. The original cylinder for it isn't easy to find anymore, but...
Cylinder.
I've got another cylinder of a different material that matches in size and pattern. I'll fit it after some tweaking. It's your lucky day.
I'll leave it in your capable hands then. While the shopkeeper works on the cylinder, I drag Caleb along to admire the shop's dazzling array of vintage parts and accessories. This revolver has an exquisite design, but it feels weird in my hand. It's not real, right?
Yep, these are all props. The shopkeeper's a Western film buff. He got these from various movie sets.
No wonder there's a sense of history here. And that vintage cowboy gun holster is rugged looking despite its intricate stitches.
You're right.
Out of the blue, I notice a proud twinkle in Caleb's gaze. It's as if the phrase, perfectly in sync, is written in his eyes.
Why hasn't that holster found a new owner after so many years? Too pricey?
It's made from the finest materials with handcrafted embroidery. Of course, it's not cheap.
After so many years?
Yep. I worked here for a whole summer once when I was in high school.
I wanted to keep him for a while longer since he's so efficient, but he left as soon as he got enough cash. It's been a decade. You've changed, kid. Took me a while to recognize you today.
10 years. Didn't Caleb give me the toy gun around that time? It has a vintage design. Why did you need Why did you need to earn money from a place that's so far away? Grandma's allowance wasn't enough? Noticing my knowing, inquisitive look, Caleb smiles. He leans down to fasten the pricey gun holster around my waist.
Your toy gun wasn't gonna fall from the sky, Pipsqueak. I had to earn your gift with my own hands.
After securing the holster, Caleb proceeds to pull out a movie poster that was on the same rack as the holster.
You know what movie this is?
Hunting Games? Isn't that my favorite Western from when I was in middle school?
Back then, you always talked about wanting to be like the heroine in those westerns, delivering justice and all that.
So that's why he gave me the toy gun, and seeing the revolver on the poster, a realization suddenly dawned on me. Astonished, I turned to look at the toy gun in the shopkeeper's hand. It's not movie merch, is it?
Actually, it's one of the spare prop guns from that movie set.
Like, that is genuinely so cool. The toy gun seems to glow brightly as... At that moment, I excitedly pinch Caleb's cheek. Caleb, you know people are supposed to use their mouths to talk, right?
I know. That's why I said, with this gun, you'll be the Wild West's guardian.
MC being so oblivious. It's not funny anymore.
And you said, Caleb will be my knight who swears an oath to protect the guardian. You know how the shopkeeper exaggerates. Most of the stuff coming out of his mouth isn't even half true. I couldn't let you be misled.
Kid, why drag me into your stories? This gun's the real deal. Anyway, it's fixed now. Come and take it.
Thank you very much.
Seeing Caleb's honest expression, I slowly relaxed my grip.
Good thing I didn't say anything back then. Or else Gran would have taken away that toy and you would have only had it for a few days. I can already imagine how much you would have cried.
I wouldn't have... well, maybe a few tears would have been shed.
Your toy gun is fixed. Ready to head out now?
I nod and start to turn around, and then a vintage cowboy hat in the corner catches my attention. Its pattern and color perfectly match the holster on my waist. Hold on a sec. I quickly walk over, grab the hat, and jog back to place it on Caleb's head.
Is this how you return the favor?
I wish I could see Caleb with a cowboy hat. You bet. You got me a holster and I got you a hat, but it's more than just a gift. I stand on my tiptoes and mimic Caleb's tone from earlier. I pull down the brim of his hat. With this, you're the Guardian's Knights. Together we'll uphold justice in this Wild West. Will you join me? Softly chuckling, Caleb lowers his gaze, places his right hand on his left shoulder, and solemnly kneels to salute me.
The pleasure is all mine.
I want to say something, but I'll say it demure. Say it. I'm curious now. Oh wait, is it about... I think I know now what you want to say. Save a horse, ride a cowboy? Kind of thing. After fixing the toy gun for half a day, Caleb and I decide to test our shooting skills against each other. At the suburban shooting range, Caleb and I, wearing protective goggles, aim at the distant targets with our air rifles.
Hey, you're a sharpshooter, right? Ready for your shot?
I've been ready for a while. Our shots hit the bullseye almost simultaneously. At this rate, we might still be trying to outshoot each other by sundown.
Decisive and skillful. You've improved so quickly. Looks like you've got your own shooting style now.
You're not wrong. Let me tell you my first rule of shooting. Imagine the target as a wanderer and you'll never miss.
You sound quite confident. When you aced that first shot during the club event, did you imagine the target as a wanderer as well?
Caleb is referring to my first shot during his early college days. As soon as I heard that college shooting club was planning an event out on the shooting range, I immediately insisted on tagging along. Holding the air rifle, which felt real, I tried to appear calm as I took my shot, but actually, back then there was no time for imagination. Dealing with the recoil was hard enough. That first shot must have been beginner's luck. Every attempt after that probably exposed my inexperience.
Your beginner's luck had Gideon and the others sneaking in extra practice for days. But it makes sense, after all.
Caleb sets his air gun down and walks up behind me. He lifts my right wrist, his warm breath fanning the air near my temple.
Back then, we'd use those toy guns to shoot apples that sat on cans. It was always difficult to tell who would win, just like now. Someone who can't beat me definitely has their work cut out trying to outshoot you.
Still boastful as usual, I see.
I only do that when I'm with you. Look.
Caleb pauses, and I turn. A subtle frown appears on his face as he stares at my goggles, his gaze showing he's somewhat distracted. What are you looking at? He shakes his head placidly from my hair and waves it before my eyes.
It's been a long day. How about I buy some smoothies from the concession stand? Though, you might have to wait a bit. There's usually a lot of people. Once you return the gear, wait for me at the entrance. I should be back by then.
Huh? Before I can say anything, Caleb shoves the goggles into my hand, pats my head, and turns to leave. As I watch him disappear into the distance, a sense of unease quietly rises in my heart. A skinny man with dark circles under his eyes lurks behind a cabin at the shooting range. Nervous, he clutches a firearm. Suspicious, he has a hidden earpiece in his right ear as he looks at the concession stand in the distance.
He should be buying smoothies at the stand. We'll be leaving soon.
Looking for me?
I gotta say that every time he's like sneaks from the back and says looking for me, does something. Startled by the familiar voice behind him, the man quickly turns around and aims his gun at Caleb. Caleb leans against the wall and dismissively flicks his finger. Suddenly, the man's gun and earpiece fly out, hovering in midair.
You!
Uncontrollably, the man falls to his knees.
I see a fish has escaped the net. How brittle.
Caleb crushes the earpiece in his hand and turns. The suspended gun dissolves into dust that scatters and falls into the weeds. With bloodshot eyes, the man behind him musters up all his strength to lunge for the firearm at Caleb's waist. When the man takes the bait, Caleb instantly grabs his wrist and flings him backwards. Tiny particles from the gun's grip burrow themselves into the man's fingers.
What? You're not gonna send your obedient monsters after me this time?
You escaped even after I spotted you. Think they'll still trust you when you return? Is there even a hiding place left for you?
Caleb stops looking at the trembling man behind him and picks up his gun and meticulously cleans it. A few minutes later, a command pops up on the communication device of Liam, the Far Space Fleet's adjutant. Okay, I know this one goes by quickly. Target was sighted in Lincoln and is heading to the second base. Follow the signal and prepare for pursuit. Yay, Toygans and smoothies. Funny card. Sweets. The evening breeze in the forest dispels midsummer heat, but it can dispel the unease in my art. Standing at the shooting range entrance with my backpack, I absent-mindedly scroll through my chat with Caleb that's on my phone. He still hasn't sent a message. Should I ask about it? Caleb left in a hurry and made a flimsy excuse. Never mind.
I kept you waiting, huh? Here, let me cool you off, Pipsqueak.
As a shadow falls over me, a cool sensation graces my still warm cheeks. I look up to see Caleb, who offers me a slightly melted smoothie as he relieves me of my backpack.
The sun's setting. Let's go home.
As Caleb takes my hand and leads me out of the shooting range, my gaze lands on the loosely fastened ulster under his coat. Aren't you going to explain yourself?
The smoothie kinda melted because of the heat. I'll run faster next time.
Caleb shows no sign of giving me a direct answer. I'll let go of his hand and grab a leaf from his head. How did you buy a smoothie when you were in the forest? Caleb just smiles and says nothing. I sigh, walk ahead of him while holding my smoothie, and leave him trailing behind. If you were a second late, I wouldn't have waited. It's evening when we return home. I quietly curl up on the sofa, absent-mindedly spinning the toy gun cylinder. The heavy curtains shield me from the sunset's prying eyes, wrapping my thoughts in the glow of a flickering projection. Hidden there are memories of the past.
Steady your breathing. Align your gaze, the laser sight, and the target. They should all be at the same level. Now, feel the subtle sway of the muzzle. Steadily press the trigger with your index finger, applying even pressure.
Wow, you really are the best sharpshooter in the club, Caleb. Looks like Gideon's tutorial will be over soon.
What are you gonna get in exchange for being his photographer? 3? Like 3 shooting sessions with the club?
Exactly.
You're gonna sell me out that easily? Ask more from him next time.
My camera's still rolling, recording. The frame freezes on Caleb's smiling face as I switch off the projector. Silence returned to the room. Back then his presence was a comforting warmth, but now, even though he's right here, it feels like he could slip away at any moment. The shower has already been turned off, but there's no sound from Caleb. I set down the toy gun and head toward the bathroom. Caleb silently stands in front of the fogged mirror. He's cleaning the firearm he usually uses with his head lowered. Droplets of water slides from his damp hair, tracing down his chest as it rises and falls, before disappearing into the towel wrapped around his waist. Hearing my approaching footsteps, Caleb quickly masks his solemn expression and looks up to meet my gaze in the mirror. I caught you lost in thought, Colonel. I caught you lost in thought, Colonel. Are you sharing intel with your beloved gun? Maybe he senses what's on my mind. Caleb pretends to be serious as he looks at the gun in his hands.
Hey, buddy. You're not allowed to deceive her. You hear?
Yeah, but you are. Caleb's response prompts me to raise an eyebrow when I look at the gun reflected in the mirror. With that high-powered scope, you must have a great view. What kind of interesting things are out there in the woods?
Gun Senior says, I spy with my little scope a small mouse. It's not interesting.
A mouse? Do you really need to get personally involved?
Gun Senior says, my bullets aren't cheap. I'm not wasting one on that thing. It was a little scare, and the mouse got spooked and scurried off.
What do snakes eat? Mice. So it's a mouse. What about next time? I know Caleb is trying to reassure me, but his explanation does nothing to soothe my unease. It's because my concerns. I've never been about a single, unannounced departure. Bullets run out eventually, and guns are worn down with every shot. What if it breaks one day? Will you dismantle it and replace the worn parts? It'll be like what you did with the toy gun. A nervous tension seemed to pluck at the invisible strings in the air. I shift my gaze to meet Caleb's eyes in the mirror.
If rust sets in, it'll be polished and repainted. And if it's too damaged to be repaired, we'll replace it. As long as it's still my gun.
The dangerous-looking gun obediently spins in Caleb's hand as he ejects the magazines and flexes his fingers. A bullet drifts out of the magazine and lands in my hand gently. The cold brass casing, bathed in the setting sun's fading light, briefly takes on a deceptively warm glow.
If you're worried about running out of bullets, keep one hidden deep within a pocket, or hold it tightly in your hand.
They're not the same. The prolonged silence solidifies the air, and the interplay of light and shadows blurs the space between me and Caleb.
Are you worried you won't recognize this gun one day?
Yes, and no. My thoughts, tangled as if in a knot, flood my mind. After a long pause, I sigh and look up at Caleb in the mirror. My voice is going. Honestly, I'm not even sure what I'm worried about. You've become strong, much stronger than before, but the threats around you have never been so terrifying. The cold light illuminates Caleb's smooth right arm, and even the warm steam can bring any warmth to that biomimetic skin. See, it's fake skin on his arm.
Only with strength can we confront these terrifying threats.
How do you know for sure that they won't grow along with your strength?
Do you miss the old Caleb? The one who wasn't so dangerous?
That hurts. That hurts. I'm just scared these threats will take you away from me. Or maybe it's because you'll drift further away as you become too strong. My voice trails off. On hearing my response, Caleb seemed to let out a sigh of relief. He walks over to me, takes my hand from the doorframe, and gently caresses it. Oh, my
Whatever
kid is
you're
back.
worried about, I only hear one thing. I don't want to be apart from Caleb.
Hang on. Oh, I gave you waiting food here. Pausing on the screen, yeah. I give you like something to snack on while I was. You know my throat hurts, right?
Owner has arrived.
Okay, so he said, all I hear is I don't want to be apart from Caleb. Yeah, that's Leo for you. Caleb leans down to look into my eyes.
Look at me.
Yes, sir. Audio's crackling a little bit. Okay. Is it me or the game? Was it crackling before I left or just now? Game. Let me do something real quick. I'm gonna stop mirroring. And I'm gonna start mirroring again. Does it fixes it now? Nope. Okay, let me restart the app completely. Is it better now? Because it's like in the green and yellow, it shouldn't be crackling. Okay, so it was the app. Cam. Why is my cam activating the tracking mode on its own? I didn't. Whoa, no, that's two. There's a crow? There's a crow. Is it the usual one? I think we have our friendly neighborhood crow. We're looking, sir. Caleb.
When you're feeling uneasy, you have two options. Either you run to me or grab onto me.
Sai is saying hi. Sai is watching you. Yeah, it's Silas. It's just Methy. Our hands are clasped tightly. Despite the bullet pressing painfully into them, neither of us want to let go. Run to him, face every challenge together, or pull him back before it drifts too far away from me. Once I grab onto you, you won't disappear again.
I won't.
As the steam clears, there is still some distance between Caleb and me in front of the mirror, but in his reflection, he's already holding me close. Perhaps he already gave me the answer I wanted when he offered those choices. No matter how far apart we are at the moment, or how different his path is from mine, no matter how much of his former self remains, the Caleb in the mirror knows he hasn't strayed too far.
I've never forgotten why I picked up a gun in the first place.
Caleb comes up behind me, wraps his arm around my shoulders, and holds my dangling hands in his callous grip. In the mirror, that familiar gaze blurs the boundaries of time for a transient moment. In the corner of the shelter, a young Caleb stands before me holding a soaked paper gun.
I won't lose!
I have someone I must protect.
And that is his voice line when he does the combat interruption to protect MC. The sun's reflection slowly sinks below the horizon and casts the final rays on the bookshelf in the corner. There lie two paper guns, huddled together. And that was the battle pass card for Caleb. It starts as cheerful and cute, and you end up with your heart torn because this is love and depression. Next Tuesday, we will do chapter 6, and we will do Raphael's birthday card. Promise. Cross my heart. That's what we will do. I am going to end the stream there. I hope you enjoyed the theory talk and also the chapter with Zane and Caleb's card. I'm gonna send you to Ryan, who's streaming Honkai Star Rail. As for me, I will be posting a video later, which are Seville's pools for Risley. And for Twitch, I will see you next Friday. I think we should have a Genshin live stream. I think. Thanks for the link. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok in the meantime. And you can also join the Discord where we have a lot of fun. I also stream most of the time, like daily in the evening for me. Like Nikki, Lads, or whatever. Sorry. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for keeping me company. I hope you enjoyed your stay. And I'm gonna send you to Ryan now. Have a nice rest of the day and see you.